So remember last week when I was at Walmart and there's a glider on clearance? I bought something new. Technically, I couldn't consider this to be an impulse buy because I gave it a good 72 to 48 hours. Like 3 days, actually 3 or 4 days passed. So it's not an impulse buy. I wanted something to put down underneath the mimosa tree, which is, you can't even see right now, back there. All the way over there where that bistro set is. That bistro set doesn't work there. The mimosa's a little bit messy. I wanted something covered to put over there. And this has a canopy on it. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, it's this guy right here. Yeah, it's red. My furniture's blue, but look, there's a blue pillow on there. That means it kind of goes together. And I have a red hose and a blue pool. Mario from Super Mario wore red and blue. He's pretty cool. Really what it comes down, hey Tuck, what it comes down to is for the price. I don't really care if it matches. It's not a big deal. Why are you so thirsty? Yeah, anyways, so I'm just working on getting this put together. Gonna get all the pieces laid out, read the instructions, see if anything's missing. That's always the thing. It's fingers crossed nothing's missing. Shins, which are reversible, I think that's kind of neat. I can have them all striped, or striped, as my grandparents used to say. Or solid, right? Yeah, there we go. That's what it is right there. I mean, I'll show y'all this when I'm done with it. It'll take you along for the ride. You know, when it comes to assembling things, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point I get a little bit angry. We will see. Okay, step 1, and I'm already annoyed. See here it says put parts 2 and 3 together, like that. Well, there are 4 different pieces here, which makes sense. Excuse me, airplane. I'm just gonna talk through it. So, these, one of them has a sticker on it. It's really hard to see. It's clear, and it has black print on it. One of them has a sticker that says number 3. These right here, nothing. So, do I assume both of those are number 3 and both of these are number 2? Or is that 2 and 3? And is this 2 and 3? I have no idea. So, already kind of off to a rough start here. Okay, so these 2 have holes in them on that front part. These do not. So I guess I can assume that those are both number 3 and these are both number 2. Okay, so I guess the pieces that have the holes in the front, the number 3s, that's for this back support. Alright, I think it's starting to make sense, I think. Not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I haven't even started yet. What am I talking about? So I was just taking the nuts and bolts out, you know, getting ready to put this together, and these aren't labeled either. So I guess I just get to do more deductive reasoning here. That's fun. Who doesn't love a puzzle? Hey, look at that. Did something. Those bolts, though, those nuts, they're giving me flashbacks. That IKEA soccer stand, the orchid stand, ugh, they won't go on. They're not threaded right. Well, I'll have to fix that later. Starting to make progress. I like that they attach the display placard. Like that's something every single one of these needs in the package, not just the display one. I don't know what's happening anymore, but I'm gonna get it done. And done. Look at that. Not gonna lie, that was not easy. It wasn't that hard. The arms were the hardest part because there weren't labels for the different nuts and bolts and things, so it was a bit of a puzzle. Also, there's a certain way these pieces up here have to match up. Directions didn't say anything about it. So just kind of had to figure that one out on my own. Got an adjustable canopy up here, which is, I guess that's nice. The cushions are reversible. Most importantly, the dog likes it. I mean, that's what it's all about. Isn't that right, Toby? You like your new bed, Toby? I will say I am going to go ahead and Scotch guard this. Probably should have done that before the dog got on it, but it would cost more money to replace the cushions and the canopy fabric than the entire thing costs, so I'm going to protect it just to be safe. You having fun, Toby? Yeah, you like your swing, don't you, bud? In your paw? Okay, no paw. Give me your paw. Yeah, there you go, good boy. So just a few days ago, I had this pool very, very full. You don't typically have to put water in it very often. You can see these skimmers. I mean, the water's just barely going in there. I came out this morning and there was like a weird rumbling sound. I couldn't figure out what it was. And I noticed there wasn't any water coming out of the dolphins here. And I looked and there wasn't enough water in the pool for it to go in through the skimmers, which that's never happened. The air's been really, really dry, which is nice. Not for my contacts though, but it's weird. I'm having to like put eye drops in constantly. I'm used to humid weather. This This is bizarre, but I'll take it because it feels, honestly, oh my gosh, guys, it feels so nice out the last few days. So nice to have a break from that heat wave. But anyways, I don't know, this doesn't seem normal. I think the average loss, according to the pool company, is supposed to be like 1 to 3 inches a week. And I had the water, it's gonna be grainy, but you see that skimmer there? It was almost to the top of the opening Saturday morning. And what is today? It's Wednesday. So 4 days, potentially like 6 inches of water. I'm gonna get in touch with the pool company and have them come out and check for a leak, I think, because that's not normal. Having a pool is already wasteful enough as far as water is concerned. You can't be putting water in it constantly, especially when there's already a lot of water consumption happening back here. Speaking of which, I've really, for a long time, wanted to get a rain barrel, but I don't think of anywhere I could actually put it around the house. You can't really see, but there's a gutter and a drain that comes down here. I might be able to build a platform here, but it would have to come out from the house. It'd be a little bit tricky because the ground slopes towards the house and there's drainage in there. With this having the cement on one side and the house on the other, there's a lot of drainage in this garden bed so that water doesn't build up and accumulate around the foundation. So that has to stay sloped. So I don't know. Maybe I could even wrap it around and bring it to the driveway. That's where the dumpster goes. Maybe I keep the dumpster somewhere else. I don't know. That's something I want to do for a really long time though. Oh, the crinum's blooming. I can't see my screen. Don't know if it's in focus, but she's so pretty. Want to make sure I show this off now because I don't know if it'll still be in bloom when the garden tour happens, which will be, I think, next week when I film it at least. Looking good though. Nice, pretty flowers. I wish I could remember the variety of that because most crinums aren't hardy where I live. I'm in 6A, 6B, but this one's been a trooper. I had another variety called Super Ellen. I had it for years. Super Ellen was a really cool hybrid from Plant Delight's Nursery. I don't know if it's their hybrid, that's where I got it from. And it was huge and beautiful. Had it for years. Last winter was just too rough for it though. It didn't make it. But this guy did, and I can't remember its name. I do think on Plant Delight's website, I think I can go back and look at my old order, so I might do that so I can figure this guy's name out for the garden tour. Because it's very, very hardy. And this is only the second time it's bloomed for me. It bloomed last year, and now this year. Last year, it was so hot. We had a heat spell right when this bloomed, so it just kind of withered away. I didn't get to show it to you guys. And I've had it for many, many years. You get them as smaller plants, they take a few years to develop, and now finally, flowers, and they're very pretty. And this, oh, best decision ever. I am going to be putting it down there under the mimosa tree, but first, I really want to Scotch guard it. This make me dizzy, which means I have to go to Lowe's. Also, the fitting that goes on here, this guy, yeah, this is broken. Had water shooting up out of the sides. So, need to go get a new one of these also. It's always tricky with this hose because the outlet, or the part that screws onto has a cut in it because last year the fitting got stuck on it and had to actually cut it off. I don't want to just buy a new hose because this was a very expensive hose. And this hose is really girthy, so I can't find a new fitting to just cut. You can cut the hose and put new fittings on most of them. Not this one, but I got lucky with this guy right here that lives on the ground now. This one wasn't a leaker, so that's nice. Because as much as I love my dram watering wand, it's not something you use for everyday use. It dribbles. It's a shower head for watering your plants. It's not great for washing off the patio and other things. It doesn't reach very far either, and there are some instances where I need the hose to spray to get to things, so gotta do that too. Hey Tobes, how you doing, Toby? Not that I'm complaining. It's always fun going to Lowe's. Let's go see what they have. Hey, why you always gotta make me feel so guilty when I leave? Of course, up until I hit record, she was staring at me and meowing. But, okay, you don't care, do you? You don't care, do you? Oh, she makes me feel so bad. So, I for some reason made a left when I was supposed to make a right. I don't really know what happened. So let's go to Home Depot instead. That's this direction. And honestly, the Home Depot that's down here, it's a little bit further, or at least it seems that way. But they usually have a decent selection of plants, but this time of year, I don't know if that's going to be the case. The nurseries, they start to kind of fizzle out their selections right around now because they're getting ready to bring in all the mums and the fall type things. That's how it is here anyway. Oh, so much bamboo. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just going with the flow. Apparently I'm supposed to go to Home Depot. I don't know what happened there. And actually, Home Depot usually has really cheap hydrangeas. And there's a spot in my front yard where I had this giant, beautiful burning bush, and it died over the winter time. So like I mentioned before, it was a bad winter. And they usually have, like I just said, it might be a good place to look to see if they have any that are really cheap. Maybe I can stick that in its place. I just kind of want to see how it would perform in that area. Give it a trial for this year, even though it's kind of late to plant. The weather's right for it, though. We're going to be, looks like the next 10 days, mostly in the upper 80s. So that's fantastic. So I'll go ahead, see if they have a cheap one, stick that in the ground, give it this year to grow, see how it does, and if it does well, then maybe doing some major changes in the front yard next year. It needs it. Yeah, not a lot to look at here. No hydrangeas. This used to go like almost to the back of that parking lot. Oh, no, I found some, but well, they look like garbage. Not spending money on that. I could always go with the Paniculata. They like more sun. I'm not really crazy about Little Lime though. I know that's not popular, everybody loves it. It's not one of my favorites. And the spot where this would be going really just gets a few hours of morning sun. The Paniculatas, they can take a ton of sun. I'll show you mine at home if you don't know what it looks like. It gets a lot of sun. Starbucks time! Yeah, Home Depot, they didn't really have anything. And the aisle with all the hose equipment, garden hose stuff, it was blocked off. So, looks like I have to go to Lowe's. Yay, Lowe's! If that sounded like sarcasm, wasn't meant to be. I love Lowe's. Okay, tell me that this is not meant to be. That's it. One left. And it does have to be this one. I've tried lots of other adapters, they don't work. Like, there shouldn't be a difference between these two, but these guys, they still leak because of that crack that's in the fitting on the hose. Okay. Got lucky with that. Okay, I also need plumber's tape. Doesn't that seem like a lot for plumber's tape? Hercules Mega Tape. Oh, that's some, like, weird fancy stuff. I don't need that. Where's the cheap stuff? That's all I need. Oh. This could be a problem. Who? Like, why? That's just dumb. That's so rude. Just gonna move that over there. Yeah. 5 for the same price, $1 more. That makes more sense. I actually don't need that much, though. I just need 1. Okay, I looked for a while. Couldn't find Scotchgard, and then stumbled upon a cart full of it. Hopefully this is for sale, because I'm taking some. Alright, enough of the boring stuff. I had to get a new timer, one of mine's broken. Enough with the boring. Let's go look at plants. Oh, come back. So most of the plants kind of look a little bit junky. Like I said, this is kind of the last pickings time of year, and we went through that heat wave, so it's kind of is what it is. I did find some nice little guys on clearance though, so that's good. And a hydrangea. I'll show you that later. What you doing, pumpkin? Where'd you go? What are you doing under the birdcage, pumpkin? What are you doing down there, huh? What are you doing? Oh, why are you being a weirdo? Because you're a cat. Okay. Got about a can and a half of Scotchgard on here. And up there too. So I need to let these dry and do the other sides. Should I do the inside of the canopy too? I made sure to do the outside, but I don't know. Am I supposed to do both sides? Sorry if the camera's shaking. My hand's a little shaky from holding that can for such a long time. I need to give it a break. Okay, it is the next day. Got my new fitting, put on the hose there. It's working well. Finished Scotchgarding the swing here. I think I prefer it the other way. I don't mind things not matching. Like, it doesn't bother me that I have blue cushions, blue umbrellas, and then the red. That I'm fine with that. In fact, I kind of like it when things aren't perfectly matched. But I think the stripes and the I think that's too much. So we'll be flipping those back over to the other side. Now, we have a problem. Or really, I should say, I have a problem. I was just looking at the forecast, and it has taken a turn. Yeah, that's better. It's gonna start raining here any minute, and it's supposed to keep raining for the next 2 days. Off and on, that is. It looks like it's going to be kind of unpredictable. I can actually kind of start to feel it misting now. Which means this vlog is going to be short. Which is okay, because last week's was pretty long. And half the time I think that they're going to be short, they end up being really long anyway, so who knows. But I had like a big list of things I wanted to do. I wanted to get things potted up underneath this palm tree, because I'm like 2 months behind on doing that. And I wanted to get this corner handled over here, because that's where the swing is going to go, and I have plants to go over there, and it's all stuff that's going to take a really long time to fill. It may have to wait till next week. That's partially because, you know, whenever I do my weekly videos and the fan's on and it's hot and I say, sorry if the fan's loud, hope it doesn't bother you because I'm not turning it off, people always comment and usually say we can't even hear it. So I filmed a few videos, kind of big important videos actually, videos I've been looking forward to filming, left the fan on, and the audio's terrible. Like, it's pretty much unusable, and they aren't things I can redo. I have a plant haul, I have a video on the Rowias, which I think I fixed. I did a voiceover. It feels wonky to me, but it works. But I also potted up this Calamandan orange, and I've been looking forward to doing a video on this plant for a very long time, and I can't redo it because I filled this with cuttings, so I can't pull the plant out, which I don't think I would do anyways, because that's not great for the plant. So, long story short, it's going to take me a really, really long time to edit those videos, because I have to somehow fix the audio, maybe do voiceovers. I don't know. I'm up for the challenge. I don't mind that part, but it's going to take a long time. So, like I was saying, as far as the rest of this vlog is concerned, the rain's moving in now, so I'm going to take a break for a little bit. Hopefully that'll pass in a few hours. I'm going to repot this philodendron, and we will see from there if there's time to do more things. This guy needs to be repotted very, very badly. I don't know. I'm just kind of explaining the thought process of the chaos of what I'm trying to iron out right now. Alright, so the rain has passed, and it is well overdue time to get this done. I feel like that didn't make any sense. It's time to do this. Now, this philodendron I have talked about before, and mostly in the sense where I've said that I have a couple plants where I just haven't really been doing for them what I should. This has been the plant I've been referring to for like 2 years if I've ever brought that up. And I know I have a couple times. I think it's been in comments. So, I have had this guy for probably, I want to say about 4 years, maybe 5, and it's still in its nursery pot. I know that's really, really bad, but it's been doing so well, I was just kind of like, I just kind of want to see how long I can keep this going like that before it starts to like show me that it needs it. And it's been fine up until now. Now it needs it. I can tell because the new growth that's coming out is not exactly what I would call healthy. And that's how I know. It's time to get some like good dirt in here, new soil, and give it a nice upgrade. Okay, I'm actually surprised that this is not much worse. There's even some soil left in there. That's very surprising. But yeah, it's definitely big enough to be moved up from its 10-inch nursery pot. So, I'm not going to upgrade to anything fancy though. I have 2 different pots here. I need to make sure that they're really, really cheap, light. I don't know about cheap, but they need to be lightweight plastic pots. And that's because I oftentimes will dig a hole in my garden and drop the plant in with the pot and everything. And I can't be doing that with heavy concrete ceramic. There's ceramic pots underneath those vines. That's what I'm saying. So it needs to be a lightweight plastic pot. I would just use another nursery pot, but I don't have any that are quite the right size. This is a good size. It's really not much of an upgrade though. But typically you only want to move your plants up 1 pot size at a time. So I think technically this would actually be just fine. This one is much larger. Yeah, that would be fine, honestly. It really would be. These are really sturdy plants. I don't worry about over-potting this as much, but I still need to get this root ball loosened up. I don't know, because I can already tell you that this is going to end up, the pot is going to be buried. So, I don't care what it looks like. It's more of a size thing. All right, I decided to go with this one. It does need more holes though, like a lot. So I'm either gonna go find my drill or just like something to just stab the crap out of it with. I mean, technically this bit here is for wood, but I don't really care. I don't really have any other bits that are big enough to make the nice big size hole that I want in here. Yep, that's a good size drainage hole. I'll probably still go through and do some others around the sides just because it's really important that these guys have excellent drainage. To get the best growth out of them, you can water them a lot, but they don't want to sit in that water. Does that make sense? Know what I mean? May seem unnecessary, but I decided to try and get all of the soil out of that root ball. And I'm also filming it for a separate video. I just started talking about it so much that I was like, I should just put this in a separate video instead of making the vlog ridiculously long. Even though I'm pretty sure it's already going to be that way. Yeah, like I said, unnecessary, but it's been in that old pot for such a long time. I wanted to go ahead and get as much of the dirt out of there as possible, pull out dead roots, which there really weren't very many of, which I was surprised by. And, you know, hose it off, get the critters out, which really you can't be assured you've done, period, let alone once you get all the dirt out, all of the soil, soil. But yeah, I wasn't able to get it all out, because I don't want to tear it up and destroy it too much either. And now I'm just waiting for the camera to cool back off. Oh, did I mention it's the next day? It started to rain yesterday, so it's the next day, 96 degrees, but oddly not miserable, which is kind of weird. But the camera, yeah, the camera disagrees. She's toasty. Whew, glad to have that done. Wasn't exactly a hard thing to do, it was just one of those things that like I've needed to do for a while. Like I said, there's gonna be a whole different video on this particular project. It just would have taken up way too much time in the vlog. I need to get this guy moved into the part sun, part shade. This is too much for it. I can't keep up with keeping it watered. Oh, and here are the hydrangeas that I mentioned that I picked up earlier. This one right here, the one I'm watering right now, that is the Bobo, which is a paniculata. And then this guy back here, I don't remember. Oh, this is the Let's Dance Rhythmic Blue. I've wanted one of those for a long time. Their flowers kind of come out in different colors. This is a macrophylla, which means it's probably in too much sun right now. I'm getting ready to rearrange and move a lot of things around, because as you can see, they are quite thirsty. It's going to be shady here probably within 20 or 30 minutes though. But this Bobo, I picked that up mostly because, like I said, I wanted something to test out in my front yard, which gets more sunlight, and the paniculatas are really the way to go for that. There's like no water pressure today. Everybody is apparently running their sprinklers right now. And it's just, oh, even my orchids, they're so thirsty. I've been watering them, but the heat is just too much for them. It really is time for me to go ahead and do a lot of repotting, especially with my orchids. I have a lot of plants I've had for a few years in their pots. It's time to go ahead and really give them some fresh soil. It's actually overdue for a lot of them, especially the orchids, but I wouldn't be using soil with them, obviously. And when I think about doing it as a whole, it's kind of overwhelming. I think what I'll probably end up doing is like maybe setting a goal to repot like 5 to 10 orchids a week. And then by fall, I should have it done. Really though, the only issue with doing that is that, let's see, get out of there. Like I was saying, the issue with that though is that I want to make sure they have several weeks to get going outside while it's warm before the fall gets here. And we're not there yet, but it's almost August. That really, where I live, that means they'll have 2 solid months, which means it's time to get on it. Okay, as I've been mentioning, next week, there's not time this week, the vlog would be too long. This area, getting a makeover. Excuse me. Going to be rearranging things, getting things potted up. I have to redo pretty much everything over here. You can see these impatiens got kind of burned. Do you guys, by the way, do you see? Like, oh my goodness. This is what I'm talking about, the paniculatas. I mean, they don't care about that heat in the sun. I mean, they get a little bit scorched, but I don't know. I don't want to talk about them too much because I think next week is also going to be when it's time to go ahead and film the garden tour. I think. But yeah, so that Japanese maple didn't make it through the winter. I have this magnolia over here, and I thought about putting that in that pot. I don't see that working because this pot, the top is smaller than the middle, and that means whatever goes in there is going to be really hard to get out. So I think I'm just going to stick with tropicals. I'm going to put like that philodendron potentially in there in its nursery pot so I can just lift it out during the winter time and do it that way this year. And then I'll get the glider moved over here, get the fairy lights up and going, and just want it to be a nice, serene area. Also, these hydrangeas smell absolutely fantastic. Oh, you know what? It's probably you. Oh, but there was one last thing I wanted to mention. I did dig through my files because I really wanted to identify this crinum. I got this in 2014 from Plantolight's Nursery, and the variety is called Persephone, I believe. But it really has proven to be pretty tough, pretty hardy. And it looks like, again, I'm not going to be able to do a video on it because it's only got 2 flowers left on it. But hey, That's alright, at least we got to see it here in the vlog, right? I also came through here and I started to kind of spread the potato vines apart to let more light in there for the petunias. I had mentioned that these super petunias are really getting choked out because the potato vines are growing so aggressively, particularly over here. It was too little too late that they're done, they're gone. I dug in there and it's there. They've been choked. Still a chance over here. I unearthed them, they're doing okay. I do need to check my drippers though, because these guys are drying up and they weren't doing that like a week ago. And I ran the drippers, water's coming out but not at full flow. So I'm concerned, like you can see things are dry over here. I need to get in there. That's not vlog worthy, it'll be very boring, and just kind of dig through and make sure that something didn't get disconnected or clogged up. I've been watering this guy by hand. It also explains why this Adenidia looks so crappy, because it hasn't been getting watered as much as it should have been. I just assumed, because I saw water running out of the pot every day, that it was getting watered, but it was just a very small trickle, nowhere near enough for this planter with these plants. And that's just kind of the way it goes sometimes. Gardening never stops, which is one of the things I love about it. Really never an end in sight. It's kind of what keeps me going, right? It's what makes us keep doing this, is you can always watch everything grow and appreciate everything. It's one of the great things about nature. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. It's gonna get too long, just blah, 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 blah. That's what I do. Welcome to my channel. Like I said though, next week, full transformation down there. I'm very excited about it. And I'm gonna make sure it's at the very beginning of the video too. You won't have to listen to me ramble for 25 minutes until I get to it. It's gonna be the next thing I do, really. And don't forget to leave the video a thumbs up. It helps so much. I really appreciate every single one of those. Thank you so, so, so much. Subscribe as well. I upload multiple videos a week. Down there, and hit the notification bell because YouTube won't tell you when I put out new videos even though you're subscribed. Comment down below, let me know what's up in your garden. Hopefully everything's going well for you. The weather's been kind of wonky lately in a lot of places. I also have all my social media linked down there below, down there in the groups of the video in the description. Follow me, I follow you back. It's a lot of fun seeing everybody's pictures and what everybody's got going on. I hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend or wonderful day, wonderful evening whenever you're watching this. I'm very happy my Ming Aurelia video is finally out, so I can go ahead and put this somewhere where it's not hiding from the camera at all times. I said I was going to shut up. I'm shutting up now. Okay, but as always, and most importantly everybody, keep on growing.